Okay. Hey y'all, I'm not gonna be on here long. I'm not really gonna be paying attention to the comments like that because I just want to come in and share a message that I have received. And I want to record it over here so that I can put it on YouTube as well. Inner child. Our inner child. Hey Sadia. Hey goddess. If you are, it really doesn't matter what age you are at this point. 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I don't think that I have anyone that will probably watch this that's over 70. But maybe my grandma. At any rate, there are many of us, and I touched on it in the Cash App Thursday live that, wasn't really Cash App Thursday. It was just sharing energy, exchanging energy. Beautiful. There are many of us that are still growing through certain situations, certain patterns, certain thought forms. 111 is on the clock, period. It's not 111, but it's 4:33, period. There are many of us that are growing through certain situations, experiences from childhood, certain emotions. And as we get older, it is very important to ask yourself, how old am I emotionally? How old are you emotionally? Because when you sit there and you ask yourself that question, the response that your higher self gives you may really surprise you. Okay? I know it surprised the hell out of me. And the reason why we get stuck and caught in this emotional immaturity, if you will, is because habits die hard. It definitely takes work in order to change and transform. It's not an overnight thing. It's not something that happens, just by you saying, okay, I am not going to approach the situation like this anymore. You learn how to emote and emotionally handle situations by the age of 7 years old. That's really young, right? You still a baby at that point. And so think about how many people you know personally that handle conflict in a very immature way. Well, it's because their parents or their guardians maybe did not teach them or show them, because many of us also learn by example, right? So they may not have learned by seeing or being taught how to resolve conflict and how to handle their emotions. I was just speaking to a good friend of mine, my soror, that teaches her daughter to honor her words, pay attention to her words, especially when she is upset or when she is faced with some kind of hurt or disappointment or what have you. Because our words are powerful. So just that alone, if we as parents teach our children how to handle their emotions in a healthy way, well, they will grow up continuing to learn how to handle their emotions in a healthy way. However, if you are the 7-year-old that or whose parents neglected you, you know, they just let you play in the room by yourself, or when you got upset, like my dad used to say, when we would cry, he would say, dry it up. You know, and I forgive him, of course, because he was only teaching me what he was taught from his own parents, and the cycle continues. So, well, it ends with me, but y'all get what I mean. So if you had a parent like, you know, my parent, for instance, who was like, dry it up, you know, and didn't teach you, or ask you, okay, well, why are you feeling the way that you're feeling? Okay, I understand that you're feeling that way, but handling it in this way is not allowing you to fully feel or fully see the situation for what it is. And when I think about young men, older men as well, who, when they are faced with an emotional challenge, they automatically either shut down, or they will sweep it under the rug, or they will replace it with work, or things like that. But when we hold on to things, when we carry things, hey Chelsea, when we hold on to things, when we carry things, when we do not release in a healthy way, okay, I don't mean releasing by smoking and drinking. I don't mean releasing by fucking. I don't mean releasing by going out to the club and, you know, having fun. No, I mean releasing in healthy ways, you know, working out, creatively expressing ourselves, going and speaking to someone that you trust, crying, you know, praying, meditating. When we don't healthily release certain emotions that we are feeling, well, that leads to all types of health problems, health issues. Okay, when we get older, not only does it lead to health issues, but it leads to issues in our connections, in our relationships. So, doing the work, okay, digging deeper, asking yourself, how old am I emotionally? How old are you emotionally? When you are in conflicts with another person, is it two fucking kids arguing? Is it one child and one adult arguing? Are you the person on the other side where someone is having to pull how you feel out of you? Keeping certain emotions and feelings trapped, of course, I just said it can lead to certain health issues. So many of us that hold on to things and don't know how to release may have issues with carrying weight, you know, like body weight. If we tend to avoid certain things, if we tend to be avoidant, that can look like not being able to gain weight. But sometimes, I don't know, I guess that's tricky, because if you can let things go, I find that those people end up having high metabolisms. Anyway, if you tend to hold on to things, you could face, heart problems, especially as it relates to your emotions and love and grief. So say you are the kind of person that does not handle loss very well. And you just have a whole bunch of grief, welling up in your heart, in your chest. Again, heart problems, high blood pressure, say you are the kind of person that in your work life, you may manage others, or you have a leadership role, but you have not learned how to manage your own emotions. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Boston. Yeah, so say you manage or are in a leadership position, but you don't really know how to manage your own emotions. You just do something like I said, you may go out a lot. You may drink a lot. You may handle what you are feeling in an unhealthy way. I'm doing so well. How are you? How are you, my love? And so I know quite a few people like this. They are in these leadership roles and positions, but when it comes to handling their own selves, they have little to no control over it. And that's another thing. So many of us, depending on what kind of childhood you may have had, grow up having control issues because we lack control. So that can show up as you being super controlling over your partner, or wanting to control every single detail of a situation, or having a lack of control. So excessively doing anything is a control issue. Whether that be a lack of control or wanting to be completely controlling over the situation. Because maybe you didn't have a say-so in how you wanted to feel when you were growing up, or you may have been like a person that grew up from a dry it up type of parent. I don't want to hear the crying. I don't want to I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I find that those that have dealt with some sort of abandonment or negligence when they were children also can have control issues as well, from a people-pleasing standpoint. From a standpoint of, okay, I wasn't loved and nurtured the way that I should have been when I was younger. And so now that I am older, I want to ensure that the people in my life love me and stay with me. So I'm going to manipulate. I am going to try to control this situation to go the way that I want it to go, so that I don't end up getting abandoned, hurt, disappointed, someone walking out of my life. Okay. What else? Sharing, right? Sharing our emotions and how we feel with others and how we really feel. Not just surface level, oh yeah, I'm okay, even though deep down you really feeling some shit. Inner child work is so important. It is so imperative, especially as we are birthing this new generation of beings. I find that many of us were raised in households, that to reach for the stars was seen as you're being delusional, or you are in denial of how the real world works, whatever that means. The real world to many of our elders and ancestors was, work hard for someone else so that you can eventually retire 40, 50 years on down the line and live off of Social Security or whatever. And understand that this mindset, this way of thinking, is not because they really feel that way. They much was not expected from our people for a while because we couldn't get into those places. We couldn't get into those places. That's a whole nother topic. I'm not gonna go Kanye on y'all. But much wasn't expected. And so when our generation is saying, no, I can be bigger, I can be better than this super limited version of what life should look like. Those same parents and elders and ancestors, or, dead relatives, look at that as, again, like I said, you're delusional. And I feel that it's important, and I know that for many of us it may not always work this way, but I feel like it is important to raise our children with being comfortable with being headstrong and being Jalen, Chelsea, Samar, hey y'all. It's important to raise our children to be headstrong, to have strong wills, to believe in their passions and their dreams. Thank you so much, Chelsea. Hey, you definitely been inspiring, cause your shit draping. Draping. It grew fast. That's crazy. I guess that's fast. It's been damn near 10 years. Cause thank you. So yes, it's important to teach our children that, so that they don't grow up thinking that anything is impossible, because nothing under the sun is impossible. And when you grow up thinking that things are impossible, you grow up really limiting yourself. So that goes back to inner child work. Go back to 6-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 11-year-old, 13-year-old, 15-year-old, 17-year-old you, and guide them. Her, him, they, guide them. Guide them. Let them speak to you. Okay? Ask your inner child questions. Ask your inner child, what do you like to do? What did you like to do back then that you would love for me to do now? What are some things that you want to get off of your chest to me? What places do you want to go? Where do you want to travel? How have I disappointed you? How have your parents disappointed you? What do you need from your parents? Even if they weren't in your life, still ask yourself, what do you need from your parental figures? Because we all have an inner mother and an inner father as well, you know, that is going to look out for our inner child. Stay with me here. Ask your inner child, take them into the mirror. Mentally, in your mind, your eyes are closed. You could go anywhere. Time is relative, space is relative. We exist everywhere. So go back, sit with them, take them to the mirror, and ask them, how do you feel about yourself? What are your insecurities now? You know, as 11-year-old you, a 7-year-old you, whatever. Tell them that they are beautiful. Tell them everything that you needed to hear that you did not. Encourage them to do everything that you at that time were unable to do for whatever reason. For instance, I'm gonna place myself in this as an example because it's important, I feel, for others to know that they are not alone. 131. So, for instance, I was always, I won't give that example. I'm going to give this one. No, I am going to give that example. I was always the kind of kid, and I won't even say always. There was a certain point in my childhood where I started to spend all of my time alone. So I would just sit in front of the TV and kind of escape through these channels, you know, these shows, the TV, these movies, whatever, and live my life through these characters that I saw on TV instead of living fucking life, going outside and playing with my sister, you know, or my sibling, doing things that kids do. And so how has that shown up in my adulthood? Well, I spent a lot of fucking time alone. And I used to say that I prefer spending all of this time alone, but it's a learned behavior. And I find that when I am watching certain things or channeling certain things, just like a child, I am able to like empathize with the characters on TV, and you know, so what did I need back then? To read a fucking book, to go outside and play. And so now that I know what I needed, that's what I do now to fulfill her and to heal her, to get out of this repetitive behavior, right? Another example, 13 and 14-year-old Brianna, I'll just say teenage Brianna, because my mom moved us to Atlanta like when I was about that age, like 13, 14. So 13 to 18, when I graduated high school, because my dad was back in Florida, it's like we would talk multiple times a week, but whenever we're talking about my grades and not really, you know, how I'm feeling. and what I'm going through, you know, as a teenager. So I didn't really feel, I felt like if my grades weren't good, let me not call my dad this week. You know, if I'm not doing good in school, if I'm not doing good in life, let me not reach out. And so that has followed me into my adulthood. If I'm down bad, if I'm going through certain challenges, I will not call my dad. I'm not calling him. And in relationships, it showed up. I do now. I say I don't call, but we've worked through these things. So, and how it showed and how it has shown up in relationships, not just romantic, but friendships as well. If I could be going through something and you won't know it, my friends won't know it, the closest people to me won't know it until it gets to the point to where I could not hold it in any longer. So, and also like asking for help, you know, it took me a long time to learn how to ask for help and being comfortable with asking for help. So, and it's crazy because once you start to heal yourself, others start to heal with you. Everything is you pushed out. So as I started to heal and get to these what's the word I'm looking for? Come to these conclusions of how to further heal, others started to show that they were healing as well. Like my dad, oh God. When I tell you I can tell my dad anything now, anything under the sun, if I'm going through anything, I can go to my dad now. I can cry to my dad now. I can emote to my dad now because he has healed due to me healing. In relationships, you know, I found that when I was operating from a wounded inner child, I was calling in partners that were wounded as well. And now that I have done a lot of healing work, and healing will never end. We will always be fucking healing. Now that does not mean that you are a project. You are not some self-improvement project. You are not supposed to be perfect. Like, no one is perfect. Everyone is always going to have something that they are working through, growing through. At times, you are going to want to just be, and it is okay to just be. It's okay to just fucking be and not work on anything. It's okay to be content with where you are right now, or it's okay to sit wherever you are, you know, so that you can actually enjoy and experience life without thinking about, oh, fuck, I'm not my best in this area, so I need to labor. Okay, life is not about labor. You know, when things come up, that is when we look at it, you know. For instance, you know, if you are in a connection that is mirroring a certain emotion back to you, or you're like, man, what the fuck, like, damn, I'm starting to feel insecure with this person. I'm feeling like, I don't know, maybe I can't talk to this person. Our communication is kind of lacking. I feel maybe immature in this area, whatever. Because relations will do that. Relationships, friendships, all types of connections will do that. It shows us, you know, the work that we need to do. So when you find yourself in those kind of experiences, that's when you look at it, you know. Or when you know, are at work and you find yourself, having challenges delegating, or having challenges meeting new people, or having challenges speaking, or advocating for yourself, or being a leader, or whatever the case may be, ask yourself, go within and ask yourself, how did I get here? How did I emotionally get here? And just meditate on that. Try to get to the root, because when you get to the root, you can pull it up from the root instead of taking like shortcuts and like halfway healing something. When you know exactly where it came from, you can acknowledge and accept that for what it is. And like I said, go back in time and ask yourself, what did I need? What did I need? What could I have, now that I am this grown age? What can I tell young me in order to grow in that way? Because even if you don't have it, somebody that is an example of what you want to be in that area, or how you want to approach that kind of situation. You have examples all around you. So I find it very important to not be in a self-improvement project, but also not staying there, not staying where you are, especially if it is harming you or hurting you. If you are the kind of person that's like, oh, well, that's just the way that I am. Well, explore why you are the way that you are. And if you like it, I love it. But if you know that your life would be so much better if you tweaked a few things, if you made a few changes in order to be better, again, it takes work, but it's just like exercise, exercise that muscle and it will get stronger and stronger and stronger as you go. It doesn't have to be difficult. It may not be the easiest thing, because again, we're having to work on it steadily, consistently, exercising that muscle. But it is going to get easier and easier and easier and easier and more comfortable, the more practice that you give it. Confidence comes with time and practice. So you will become more and more confident in your ability to be this amazing adult. You feel me? The more that you practice. And we get younger every day around here. Look at me. Black don't crack. You feel me? We get younger every day, but it is important to mature. Especially if you're raising kids. If you intend on having kids, if you have kids around you, children around you, because they need to know that they can be healthy children growing into healthy adults. So inner child work, that is what it means. I know like so many people throw around, heal your inner child, heal your inner child, heal your inner child. But they don't really break down what that means and what that entails. So that's what it is. I just wanted to come on here real quick because I've been receiving that message for about a week or two now. And I know we touched on it, like I said in that last live, but that wasn't meant to be that. So I didn't go deep into it. So yeah. At any rate, New Year's readings, go ahead and book your session. We can do FaceTime, and I have been recording them and sending them out on Google Drive. Go follow my YouTube channel if you aren't already. Channels, Light of Mine, GoldenTouchConjure, and Life is But a Dream TV. And other than that, you know, personal readings, you know, I'm always available, as well as Cash App Thursday will be this Thursday. I'm not sure if I'm going to come on here, because the thing about Cash App Thursday for Instagram is I find that my YouTube crowd, they're there for a reason. You feel me? I find that over here, the demographic is just different, you know, because these are people that I personally know a lot of y'all. So, if you would love to participate in Cash App Thursday, those are only $10 readings, but I go really in depth. It's a personal reading for real. And I delete that video within 24 hours to protect your privacy. If you would love to join us for that, that would be this Thursday on my YouTube, probably around 5 p.m. So stay tuned, because I'll post when I plan on doing it. And other than that, don't forget to let your light shine no matter who it blinds. I will see you all later, and I love each and every one of you. All right, bye.